I had to do this video in a few parts because my camera kept cutting off because my devices is bootleg. So we were talking about ways to prevent hair damage and the epidemic that's going on with black women and us losing our hair to traction alopecia. In case you don't know what traction alopecia is, it's the loss of hair from traction, meaning pulling and tugging. Whenever there's a pull and a tug, you're gonna get hair loss. That's why I don't let anybody touch my hair. And I'm serious about that. I'm very tender headed. And everybody, I do tight hair and I do it really tight. Oh no, you're not doing any tight to my head. Closures. I don't know if I was talking about the closures before my video cut off. But the thing with closures is this. By the way, this is She Lux luxury hair. This hair is excellent. But the problem with closures, they now have transparent frontals and closures too. But what closures is, the inside of the closure is like a fabric. I don't know if you can see, it's like a breathable fabric. The thing is, it's still going on top your crown, which is the middle part of your head, which has the it's very delicate. This very area is very delicate. So when you cover it up, you're not getting no air on it, you're not getting no sunlight. And this is where most of it starts. Have you noticed when you watch the videos of people with these hair issues, it starts in the crown? The reason why it starts in the crown is because that is a very it's a very sensitive area, and those areas are thinner. That's why even with guys it starts there, because those areas is thinner. So when you putting closures on and you covering up your scalp and you're not letting your scalp breathe, you're causing damage to your hair follicles. I know some of you, swear by your weaves and wigs and everything like that, but if you wearing weaves and wigs and you notice that you've lost hair and it's not growing back, you need to maybe relook at your hair care routine and understand why you having hair loss and it's not going back. Years, I mean, like we were talking about it earlier, in the 80s, in the 90s, I mean, we didn't have hair loss like this. It wasn't so widespread. Like, edges is just gone at an alarming rate. And I think a lot of us chase the style, and I think a lot of us go to hairdressers who chase the bag, which that's what you're supposed to do. But morally, you should be telling a person, listen, this style is going to cause more damage. But think about it. If your hair is healthy and you don't need weave, then, or you don't need my services, then guess what? I'm out of business. So you come into the shop and you sit down, especially the braid shops. You come in and you get these super tight braids and these super tight wigs, and you go home and you can't even lay down and sleep at night. This is nothing but pulling and tugging and tugging and pulling. Now, I don't even know where my video cut off at, but I was trying to give you an example of the tension. If you take, and now this is the Malaysian hair, whatever, but it's still hair. So if you take this and this, I don't know if you can see it. If you take this hair and you constantly pulled it, and you just constantly pulled it, it would start to thin out at the root and then eventually it would break. That's the same concept with hair. If you got braids and that are way too tight and pulling and long and heavy, and all of this is going to pull and it's going to cause the areas at the roots to thin out. And that's how hair loss starts. The pulling and the tugging. Um that was one of the ways. Try to put not so much tension on your hair, not so much pulling and tugging. Because honestly, when you lose the hair and them follicles are gone, that hair ain't coming back. Some of y'all out here can't even take off your wig in front of your man because your head is bald. The thing about that is, it's nothing funny about it. It's not a laughing matter. It's just something that we have to prevent before it's happened. Us chasing a style is like, and I used to be like that too. Like, I ain't worried about my hair. Just throw this wig on and throw this on. This look cute. I ain't worried about my hair until I started seeing damage to my hair that I started getting concerned, especially when the edges came out. It was like, oh my God, what if the edges don't go back? It's going to be bald on the side. And once you start balding in any area, it just continues on. So I got scared and I said, you know what? I got to change up. Stop using products on the shelf with chemicals. Made my own products, created my own product line. That's the only products I use, natural stuff. Um, I stopped looking at other people's hair care routines and saying, look at that. Oh, I got to do that. My hair going to grow. I got to use this. My hair going to grow. I started paying attention on to products and my routine that worked for me. Keeping a clean scalp, spritz in my hair. When I had in like braids or something, my braids are never tight. My edge braids, never. My edge braids are, I make sure they're small, and I make sure there's enough hair in that braid to support, enough of my hair to support the braid. 2 strands of hair and a big old humongous braid hanging from it, it ain't gonna do nothing but tear your hair out. Weave glue, frontal glue, that stuff is taking your hair out. Not only is it toxic, there's chemicals in it, it's taking your hair out. Any amount of tension, even if you use the remover, you're pulling it, it's still thinning out hair strands. This video is not to tell you don't wear your weaves, don't wear your closers, don't wear your frontals, but it's to tell you that to be more vigilant with your hair care routine and pay attention to your hair. If you see when you take out that frontal, there's damage, chill out on frontals for a little bit. You know what I mean? Work to rebuild the hair. Pay attention to your follicles. See what everything is going on with your hair. See what's going on with the strands. See the thickness of the strands, the moisture of it. Pay attention to your hair, no one else's. Those are the tips I wanted to offer. I want you to comment, and you can give us some of your favorite tips. I know this was a long video, but it's very concerning. I feel it's seeing our women in the state of our hair, and some of us can't even leave the house with weaves. Some people you've seen, you don't even know what their hair look like because they wear so many wigs and weaves, because a lot of the times they're covering up damage from the wigs and weaves. Ain't nothing wrong with wearing a good weave, wearing a good wig. Different hair, all that stuff is we're women. We like to do different things. But it's important that we take care of our hair underneath, because not only are we damaging our hair, we're damaging our scalp. And that means we're damaging our skin, which means we're damaging our bodies. So everything that we're putting in our hair, remember, is going in your body from the chemicals. That's why a lot of the times with the braiding hairs and the twisty hairs and stuff like that, these synthetic hairs, they're treated with certain chemicals, and that's why they tell you when you get them, spray them, wash them, put them in apple cider vinegar to kill, to remove the chemicals, because these are dangerous chemicals that sleep in your skin and go inside your pores and go inside your scalp and wreak havoc on your body, whether you know it or not. It's absolutely the truth. So yeah, my whole video bootleg devices kind of threw me off, but I hope that these tips help, and I hope that they make sense. And if they don't make sense, do a little bit of research and you'll see what I'm saying. Clogging up your pores and clogging up your scalp is not good for healthy hair growth. And that's about it. If there's any tips that you have or anything that you want to bring to the table, just put it in the comment section. We'll follow up on this video and we'll talk more about healthy hair routines and how to prevent hair loss. And that's about it. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for tuning in with Kay, and hope you enjoy social issues and such. Subscribe to my channel. It's only going to get better. I just started doing this, so I'm kind of, my feet are still wet, or whatever it is that you say, your feet wet or your toes is damp or something like that. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday.